Money, 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 money.
Rich.
Rich, richer, Birkin. Billionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. Those are the three qualities she's looking for.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dark Diaries podcast. Today I'm having Sharon here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Sharon. I'm from the suburbs of Chicago. If you're from the area, I'm from Mundelein. I'm a biomedical engineering major here. Sophomore. Rebecca and I have become really good friends since she got here.
I'm super happy to have you here because I have wonderful questions for you. Are there some things that you would go back and you would want to change?
Reflect on things and you're like, I wish things had gone differently. But I would honestly say no, because your experiences make you the person you are today. It's better to focus on the future than dwelling in the past.
In reality, if you would go back and you would fix all your mistakes, you would basically erase yourself. And that's what people don't understand, that you did mistakes in the past and you will also do mistakes in the future. If it wouldn't be for our mistakes, we would not be the person we are today. Maybe if you wouldn't have had this experience by that age, you would have this experience 10 years later. And when it comes to like your freshman year, and is there an experience that really shaped who you are today?
Just coming here was probably like the big first step. Basically went in knowing very few people, and I kind of clung on to the people I met like that first week, like my roommate last year and some of my friends that I made like in the very beginning, because I was like, oh, like what if I don't make new friends? Generally trying to like branch out and make new friends freshman year, it's harder than you would expect. Even if you are someone that has never had trouble like making friends, it's just an intimidating thing. And I just came in and was like, I don't care. And I think that's one of the reasons that we met. Go for it, put myself out there. Like that transition was really
when I just came to Madrid and it was my freshest year, I didn't make friends that easily in the beginning, and then I just hung on to people way more likely and attached myself to them because I'm like, oh my god, what is if I don't make other friends? But then I just realized you don't need to cling on to anyone in life, and that's why it's so important to like practice the law of detachment. No person owns to be in your life. You really need to be fine with being by yourself, and we were like basically best friends. And then I realized that the moment I stopped putting effort into the friendship was gone as well. You know what I mean?
She's laughing at me because we were literally just talking about
that.
No, I completely agree. And I think it's really easy, especially like lonely and you're feeling like, oh, like these are like my only friends. You tend to cling on to friendships that you don't really like need in your life, or friendships that aren't super beneficial for you.
Yeah.
One of my friend's dads has like a saying that he always comes to town and will tell us, that he always says, there are people in your life that are going to be anchors, ships, and sails. There are some people that are just meant to be in your life temporarily, and some people that are meant to be in your life for an extended period of time.
When you're in the situation, and that has not only to do with friends, but even like maybe when you're involved with a toxic guy that you're talking to. Reason why I feel like so many girls are stuck in this toxic cycle, whether that's a friend cycle, who they're going out with, so involved in the situation that they cannot see the situation from outside. Best thing that you can do for yourself is actually take a moment to reflect, take a step back and see it for yourself, how another person would view it from the third perspective. If you're super good friends with a person and you're always the one initiating plans, and you realize, wait a minute, am I putting all the energy there, or only putting the energy there, and you don't get the same thing reciprocated, that's exactly when you know that the only person who values the friendship is you. And
back to like the toxic, when you're in a toxic relationship with like a partner, you don't know when you're in it. And then if all of your friends around you hate that person or are telling that all these things are happening,
it's
and all these things are wrong, it's probably not just because they don't like him. They probably don't like him for a reason. I tend to be like more of like a people pleaser. In the past, people walk all over me and just done like whatever, just because like, oh, like they're my friend, you know, it's whatever.
I feel like you really need to watch out who the people are that you're friends with. You should never let anyone step all over you. And how come when I was 12 I had way more friends than I have now? First of all, they were not your genuine friends. I personally believe that you can count your closest friends on your fingers, who you are the closest to are the people who also reflect you in some certain type of way. When you are a people's pleaser and you let people walk all over you, you're putting them on a pedestal, and then you also don't have like love for yourself. Involved with a toxic partner or friends that aren't really girls, that we talked about,
Yeah.
then you basically don't love yourself. But then I always just think to myself, when you are involved with a girl that isn't a girl's girl, or that does not always have your back, or you're even seeing a toxic guy right now, just think how your inner child would feel. If you would see yourself when you were 10, would you actually want to give that love to yourself? You probably wouldn't.
Yeah, another thing that I think about, I'm like, I let my child be friends with someone like that or like date someone like that. You're like, whoa. Because I feel like you realize some things you hadn't thought about
Yeah.
before. Else too, if
Especially
that
with like
makes
a
sense.
toxic guy, like opinion, but if a guy isn't fully obsessed with him, why would I want him? Like I wouldn't want him, because I think to myself, when I have a daughter in the future and I see a guy that is like halfway in, halfway out, I'd be like, tell him goodbye, like immediately. This girl, she was in a relationship with a guy, and then her friend started talking to him, and they obviously broke up and everything. What do you think about those type of girls?
Not really your friend so much.
Yeah.
Like, at least for me, like, my best friends I know would never, even like, if they came to me and asked for my permission, that's completely different. If they were like, I like him or whatever, I think I might want to pursue things with him. Especially if you're really far removed from it, I think that's like a completely different situation. But this girl was telling us that one of her best friends, like basically like right after they broke up, was like kind of like
Yeah.
swimming.
Well, it makes me think, how do you even come to this type of situation? Because my friends, they would never even ask me for it. I personally have strong morals and principles, and a friendship, it's very important to know where the line is. And I wouldn't even interact with her guy in any sort of way when basically taking the trash that the girl already threw away. Never wanted to be your friend. She just wanted to be you. And honestly, with those type of people, I would honestly just have empathy with. Shows some unresolved childhood trauma. I think when you forgive someone, it doesn't make you a weak person, because you're not saying, oh, it's okay of what you did to me. You forgive them because you don't want to carry anymore the extra weight of hate and resentment. Also, just like heal properly and move on from the situation.
The word "girls girl" can sometimes have like a like connotation, and I think that's because people associate being like a girl's girl with being like, oh my god, like I love you all the
Yeah.
time, and I just don't think that's like the true definition of like what it is. Getting cheated on, that would suck, to say the least. And then my friend or someone, even someone I didn't know, found out about it, texting Rebecca, whether I knew her or not. And she reached out to me and told me I wouldn't be mad at her. I would obviously it's obviously his fault, but I think a lot of times people think that a girl's girl is someone that's like, oh my god, where I think it's really just someone who's like there for other
Yeah.
girls, uplifting. I don't think it's aren't jealous.
Girls, it's just being able to know that you have your own beauty, but that just because you admire or uplift your friend, it doesn't diminish what you have yourself. And a lot of girls have like this jealousy problem, this competition problem, and I'm just like thinking to myself, honey, who are you competing with? Because at the end of the day, the person that I'm competing with every day is simply myself. Every single day, I just want to be a better version of myself. Sharon, for example, has amazing hair. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, you fucking bitch. Like, why do you have that hair? I also want to have that. When you can admire others, that's also what you will receive. And
Yeah.
when people like give out hate or they give out jealousy, you're vibrating on such thin vibrations that the only thing that you will get in return, people who don't want to uplift you but just be there and waiting for your downfall.
Jealousy and like that natural like competition comes from like pressure that society puts on women. I
Yeah.
don't think it's always like, oh, they're just like a jealous, they're like bad person.
Society puts on us in like a lot of aspects, like a certain standard, like beauty standards as well. And we've also like talked about it with you, like how to be more confident, because I feel like too many people these days, they care about other people's opinion, but I honestly live like by the statement that what other people think about me is none of my business. I rather be fucking cringe in other people's eyes than be unhappy with my own life. If you cannot be yourself, why are you even living life?
Love or hate Rebecca, because there are some people that really don't like Rebecca. Like, you can't deny that she's unapologetically herself. Like, she gives no fucks. Like, she is who she is, and she's not gonna apologize to you for being that way. I could tell my younger self it would be to care less about what people think. Advice you want to give your past self is stuff that'll further your future self.
If there's one thing I learned from my past, it was really hard for me to let go of people. It wasn't only like guys or people I've dated, it was also like friendships, with friendships that were unhealthy for you, with friendships that were basically worthless. You realize that you always have yourself. That's when you realize that you can let go of it. Also, one advice I would give to the girls, I think to myself, it's one fucking guy out of a millions of guys on the planet. If he couldn't do it the right way, there are plenty of others who will. I'm not a man's hater, because I feel like a lot of people have the impression that I hate men, or what I say is all against men and I'm so feminist. Actually, quite the opposite. I'm a man lover. I love men. I think men are the coolest. This audio. Respect men that are honest and transparent, and I feel like sometimes you're not dealing with men, you're dealing with children. That's the problem, especially little boys that cannot be honest with you and transparent. I don't have any respect for them. If somebody comes up to me and tells me straight up of how they feel about it, and that's how it is, I would respect them way more. I love men, dislike boys who are liars.
Friends, you can very clearly see when they're in a relationship that's toxic, but when you're in it yourself, you're like, what if I can never do better? I don't love anyone as much as I love them.
That's so crazy though, because I think most of the times, if everything is going so perfectly with the person, you would never doubt it. And I also think to myself, you as a girl, when you are involved with a toxic partner, you become ugly. And I will tell you why. Because when you're chasing after a man, you're having so much headache about him, so much confusion, and it can only make you be ugly. But when you are with the right guy, then you can only shine. You already shine by yourself as an independent woman, but then when the right guy comes into your life, you will shine like a flower, like 100 times more, because he gives you this love.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it like makes you ugly per se. I think that might be a little aggressive, but do you think that there are people in your like that you're gonna meet that are gonna like drag you down and like dim your light so much? Is like there are other people in your life that are gonna uplift you and that are gonna like make you shine, and you can do that. We can both shine and be happy. Whereas like going back to the jealousy thing, there are some people that'll be like, I'm gonna try to dim you to make myself feel or look better. But I think it's mostly like a feeling, because that comes from a place of insecurity.
Also validation. You're doing it because you want validation that, oh my god, I can be better than her. That you truly love yourself. You know that you are like the moment. Would you give someone a second chance?
I think there obviously are situations that warrant second chances. How situations like cheating, I don't think I would ever give another chance. What's to stop you from doing it again? Because you've already established that is a moral barrier that you will cross. Say you won't just cross that line again.
Yeah. Comes to cheating, I would never forgive cheating. Like, love the guy to death, and I would never forgive it. A guy is already aware that he can do it again. Maybe he just did it because it was a male urge, but I don't think that's an excuse. You should always like take the feelings of the girl into consideration. And once you cheat on a person, it shows that you basically have no respect for them, and you are subconsciously making them aware, if you do forgive them, cheat on you in the future.
So many scenarios that could happen. So I won't say that I would like never give someone a second chance. Chips, I feel like you're more likely to give multiple chances because you're like, I want this to work out.
Second chances, it's always black and white. It really depends on the situation, because at the end of the day, we're all human. Like, I might say that I would never give someone a second chance for doing this, and this, and then
but then there's a situation that would occur that you would totally would. Yeah,
exactly, because we're all human. If we would never do things the incorrect way, we wouldn't be living on this earth.
And I think a big part of growing up, like especially at our age, is like able to admit like your mistakes, and learn from them. So accountability, is like a huge thing. I think that's a big thing you learn in college, is kind of how to do that. That's like a big part of like this step in maturing, is taking accountability for your actions and for all that. So if someone was to come to me and like admit that they were wrong, take accountability for actions, and like apologize, be like,
that's attractive.
And then be like, can we try again? Forgive me for the situation. I think that that's very different, and I think that definitely warrants a second chance. Your parents will tell you like, oh, like you have to take responsibility for your actions. And it's not until you're kind of in this stage of your life when you realize you're like, oh shit, I do have to take accountability for my actions.
Or what with my mom the other day, I remember like in first year when I was doing nonsense, she was like, "Oh my God, Rebecca, like how do you not see it? Like you're basically stuck in a trap hole, like yourself out of the situation." But always like people can give you their input on it, but you need to come to the conclusions yourself. Take accountability and responsibility for the things. You also realize that you were in the wrong. It gives you their opinion without you even asking for it. It bring you nowhere. Only times when I give my opinion to people is actually when they ask for it, because otherwise when you like give opinions to other people and they didn't ask for it, they're maybe not even in the mental headspace. Your parents tell you something that's in theory, and my mom always loves to say theory is theory but life is life. You can only learn in practice.
Stop. Like, I know. And
Yeah,
then
and then you keep doing the same mistakes.
older you get, the more you listen to your parents. I don't know if you feel the
Yeah,
same way,
I feel
but
the
that's
same
how I.
way. Just think to myself, if my parents are telling me something or my friends, at the end of the day, they're looking out for my best interest. So if I don't listen to them, then I'm just being blindsided, and then I don't want to come to this realization later on. Get older, time passes by super quickly. I don't want to like waste my time on the wrong people or keep doing the same mistake. You're like a really confident person. You know your shit. You know you're this shit as well. and
Thank
i
you.
and i want to ask you, what makes you so confident? Because a lot of girls lack being confident and just standing up for who they are.
Always been a bigger person, and I think it's really easy to try to like hide yourself and try to like hide that. I've always been a bigger person, and you never see people that look like you in movies and TV shows unless they're like the funny character. And so I think sometimes, at least in my experience, like I tried to like become like the fun, and I'm hilarious by the way. Like become the funny friend, like the fat Amy of the movie.
On the roles of like funny characters, those people actually need to work on their personality. It's all about charisma. At the end of the day, you care about the energy that somebody brings into the room. If I walk into the room, people will know who I am, but the energy that you bring to it. I see so often pretty girls, but it's just cold beauty. You might have a sofa at home, it's beautiful, chef's kiss, but it doesn't make you feel any type of way. You're surrounded by people who make you feel some certain type of way, and you can only do that when you have charisma, when you walk into the room and you know you're the fucking shit and no one can bring you down. Girls that are just pretty and you talk to them, once they open their mouth, there's nothing meaningful coming out of it. In my eyes, those girls are ugly. You don't have a personality. I cannot tell how you are. You might find somebody better looking, skinnier, with the eye color that you want, but I always think to myself, they're not me. They're not the Rebecca Spielman.
There's always going to be something you want to change about yourself. It's like an ever changing thing. Confidence is definitely defined differently for each person. Days where you don't feel like your best, or you don't feel like you look good, or you don't feel like you're like confident in like your academic abilities, whatever it may be. Much of my life, I was thinking like, oh, these people are just like judging me because I'm bigger, or like, oh, they'd never go out with me because I'm bigger. And there are some people that wouldn't, and that's okay. But those aren't people that I
They're
want in
not.
my life. And I
Yeah,
for me to realize that like if they don't want me for me, then like why
why
would
the
I want to be with
yeah,
them?
why confidence for me is also like being unapologetically yourself. Because if I cannot be myself with my friends or with the people that I want to be associated with, why are they even in my life? Like if you need to change for anyone, whether that's for a guy to like you or whether to be in a certain friend group, they were never your people to begin with. A guy that loves you, the friends that want to be with you, they will just love you for who you are. Of course, you can always become better, but the ground, the morals that you hold, and the principles, they should never change.
You are your own harshest critic, and I think that's true in all aspects of your life. Academic, family, social, just any aspect of your life. I think that you are going to be harder on yourself than the outside world.
Yeah.
And you could be imagining all of these people judging you, and in reality,
No
nobody
one,
cares.
yeah, no one. The best things you can do for yourself, especially that relates to confidence, is to watch out with the inner dialogue you have with yourself. I might like start off having a bad day and I might have all these negative thoughts, vibrate on like low vibrations, but then when you're like, wait a second, it's me, fuck yeah, you start vibrating on positive vibrations. Because when you have a positive like inner dialogue with yourself, everyone that you encounter in life, they're a reflection of you and your thoughts. You're connected like with the universe and like feel your vibrations. People feel your energy. And when you have a positive dialogue with yourself and you know that you are the shit, you are the moment, and maybe you might not have the best day today, but from now on you will make it better. That's exactly how the other people will reflect. When you have a negative dialogue with yourself and you're like, oh my god, today I look fat, today I'm ugly, if it isn't sitting well on me, you will feel uncomfortable, and that's also how people will mimic you.
Positive self-talk is like kind of what you're talking
Yeah.
about. Clothes are such a big part, I feel like, of, at least for like size wise, I feel like people feel like they can't wear what they want, but like I think just wear whatever makes you feel confident. If you feel confident showing the most skin out of anyone ever, then that's what makes you confident. When you're more confident, other people notice that. Like that's the energy you put out.
Yeah.
Confidence is the outfit.
The way you perceive yourself is all that matters. I'm not saying that you should work on yourself. I am a person myself. I always work on myself, and I always like want to be better, want to look better, want to stimulate myself intellectually, all aspects of my life. People just get so stuck of where they want to be, how they want to look, that they just simply get lost in the present moment.
Becoming happy and enjoying the process of being in life.
Yeah.
I'd rather be ugly and happy than like the prettiest person on the planet and so unhappy with myself and my life. Experiences make you who you are, and that's
Yeah.
like, and we talked about this, like we might not agree on everything, and you guys might not agree with her on a lot of things, and that's just how it is. Like, and we don't still be friends because our fundamental beliefs are the same.
I prefer to date medium ugly guys who actually have a personality, because guys that grew up just being very good looking and getting every girl, they usually don't need to work on their personality. And most of the times when I talk to these type of guys, I'm like, damn, you don't make me feel any type of way. You're legit like a woman, physical appearance. I'm looking at a guy, he needs to be like intelligent, you know.
Someone that can make you laugh, I think, is
Ooh.
so important.
Oh my god.
Same with your friends.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be friends with people that are really good friends with people that have completely different senses of
Yeah.
humor. If I was never making Rebecca laugh, I'd probably be not on this podcast. You know, I was like, but we're both funny people. We make each other laugh.
Yeah. I think humor is so important.
Yeah, I think humor. I think loyalty.
Oof. See,
So huge. Especially
the
for
fact
me.
that the standard is there these days.
I mean, I don't think the standard's very high, honestly. Like, you just have like such a hookup culture.
Yeah, crazy.
That it's like, I'm not like a hookup person either. Like, I'm a relationship person. I want a loyal person. I want a funny person, and I like to think I'm smart sometimes. But I like smart guys also.
Yeah, I think being a smart man is so sexy.
Oh, for sure. I don't think like if you were dumb, I'd be like, oh, like I'm never gonna date you. You know, you're dumb. But
I would never date a dumb man.
But like at a certain
cannot
point,
earn money.
Ambitious, having goals in general is just like super attractive. The bar is so low.
Somebody's ambitious, they know that they will make it far in life. You know, be as successful as you want to be in the moment, you know. But when you believe in yourself and when you are ambitious and determined, you will get there. So my number one quality in a man is for sure being ambitious and determined. That goes hand in hand. The second one is for sure having a good sense of humor, because if somebody cannot make me laugh, why would I want them? Like, and then probably the third one is a guy who is obsessed with me. Like, he doesn't think that I'm his all, then I don't want him. I want the guy who's halfway in and halfway out.
Your partner in life is meant to like uplift you and like move you forward.
And I also think your partner is a representation of who you are. You're choosing a partner that isn't all those qualities, then you're doing something wrong. That's
for sure. And I think just in general, like, you want to surround yourself with people that are going to move your life forward. You and your partner, like, your life is here and their life is here, but together your life is up here.
Yeah.
Like, a really well-matched partnership is. Because
I
think
we see our differences, because I personally think that if I'm here, I would want my partner to be here. I want him to be slightly above me, because I would want to grow with him. You want to be mothering him. Girls, they're dating boys and they turn them into men.
Though they have to be like above you to begin with, to grow together.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just where we see differently. And that might just be like a cultural thing of like, and if I'm up here and he's down here, it doesn't mean like that I'm like teaching him all these things and pulling him through life. You know what I mean? I think that just means like we're at different places. As long as you're able to grow together, that's a positive relationship.
Please be careful if you are the only one putting effort, putting consistency into something. If something is not reciprocated, you are in the wrong place, whether that's in a friendship or in a relationship.
That part felt targeted.
What is one advice you would want to give to the girls that are currently watching my videos, girls who might be actually in their freshers year, or just girls in general?
Put in the work to like learn yourself. The better you know yourself, the better you navigate life. It also comes with like growing up. Like I feel like I really honestly I didn't really know myself that well, if that makes sense. Like I didn't have that like introspective thought about like, oh, like who is Sharon? Like who am I really? Or like what is my place in the world? You know, like what am I meant to do? So I think like the biggest advice is just like figure out who you are, because I don't think you can really be with someone else before you figure out who you are.
That's so true. That actually reminds me of one thing that I also want to say. I feel like girls get into relationships because they feel lonely and they just want somebody to fill up their loneliness. But in the end of the day, when you don't know who you truly are and you're not working to be your best self, every person that you're going to be with just want that they fill up your life, that they fill up who you are, before you even get into a relationship, before you even start to date someone. And if you actually want to date a worthy man or a worthy individual, also for guys, you know what I mean, you first need to know yourself very clearly. You need to be your best version, and then you can step into something and make something great together.
Be secure in who you are, confident in yourself, you know who you are, you know what you want, and you are all those things will just come, because that's just part of like
100%.
You attract what you put out. And so I feel like when you do the work,
you attract who you are.
And I think when you do the work to like put that in, and to like you put in that work to really like figure out who you are and become secure in yourself, become confident, everything else will follow.
Don't focus so much on other people. Don't focus on that toxic guy that can't treat you right. Don't hold on to friendships that don't serve you anymore, but instead put all the focus, put all the energies that you put into those people back into yourself. You all stay safe out there.
До свидания.
До свидания.
До свидания.
Sexy.
I love money, 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 money.
Don't fuck with you. Like the Big Sean song.
When the fundamental beliefs, and preferably if you have tattoos, hit me up. I like it rough.
For my ultimate spicy question.
The important element is in the pants. No, but 3 most important qualities I'm looking for in a man. He is possessive.
Tracks. Clogged.
Funny and loyal.
Funny and loyal. Funny and loyal. Funny and loyal.